aspects. Over to you, Mr. Rajat.
Thank you, Professor Dasappa, for a nice introduction. I'm quite privileged to be in the company of people with so much of experience in their domain. So with your permission, sir, I would take a slightly different route in presenting. I don't have a presentation. I'll maybe use 8 or 9 minutes to talk. And if with permission of everyone in the speech, I'll be a bit provocative in my speech to kind of make the discussion a bit more interesting. So few things, it's my duty to just introduce my company. Not everyone may be aware of this. So ACME, as you said, is one of the largest solar only developer in India. But more important and more relevant to this discussion is that we have already invested in a green hydrogen and ammonia plant. In fact, I just want to appraise with a lot of pride that we have already physically completed what we believe is world's first single location integrated solar, hydrogen and ammonia, green ammonia plant, which is in the place of Bikaner. So we had started hydrogen production last month, and this month we are expecting the ammonia to also start coming out from that plant. And we are expecting a very senior level dignitary to also dedicate that plant to the nation. So now a few disclosures. We as a company and I as an individual, we are not hedging our bets. We have already chosen our horse. We believe green is the future. We believe initially it will be alkaline electrolyzer in the future. And third, we believe very, very clearly that the immediate market is in ammonia, right? There is a use case which is already there. And so a lot of our comments, my commentary would be given this leap of faith that we have already taken into this these things. Now, few things which are very important, right? So, and I'll talk more from a development and commercial experience, not the technical aspects. Coming together of the stars aligning from green hydrogen and green ammonia is not a technological breakthrough. Why? Solar has now been around for 10 years. Prices have been declining. The electrolysis technology has been there for multiple decades. Similar for the ammonia loop or the Haber-Bosch process, as we know that. So this all have been there for multiple years. It is humankind's, it was unfortunate that humankind 100 years back chose the carbon route for hydrogen to be a carrier for hydrogen and not the nitrogen or some other route, right? Technically, all of us know that energy is in hydrogen. For some reason, someone discovered oil in Pennsylvania and then in Middle East, and we all went the oil and gas route because that was easier thing or a lazy thing to do. And we never kind of allowed chemistry to build on and allow ammonia and other things to come back. And maybe 100 years down the line, we are realizing what damage it has caused and we are trying to course correct. All of us in this conferences are probably part of the solution and not part of the problem. So to that extent, we should all take pride. Now, few things which are important. The major discussion that I hear in speaking circuits or in the papers is that hydrogen is very costly. We are still few years away from it becoming commercial. So let me throw a counter proposition. It is not a matter of time we reach $2 to a kg hydrogen. We are already there, right? And why do I say so? Let us, as someone mentioned, the 60% of the cost is renewable cost, right? And if you want $2 to a kg hydrogen, it's a simple back calculation which doesn't require too much of scientific rigor. Anyone would know that 55 units of electricity is required to generate 1 kg of hydrogen. Just take 2 cents to a unit power, that means $1.1 is the cost of the power, and balance you just put the capital cost for your electrolyzer component, or in case you're making ammonia component. So we are not very far from $2 benchmark, which seems to be the tipping point. But how do you get the 2 cents to a kilowatt power, right? And again, the equation is simple. You need to have renewable resources which are intense enough in that particular area where you are locating, right? For example, in India, we have Rajasthan, which has good renewable sources, among the good renewable sources of solar globally. But then there are other locations like, for example, Oman, where we are setting up a large 2,400 tons per day plant, where even at today's solar irradiance, at today's cost, we are at 2 cents to a kilowatt hour power price. Once you have that power price equation solved, then everything else starts. Dollars to a kilowatt hour, if you produce ammonia, we will end up producing ammonia at a rate equivalent around $16 to $17 to an MMBTU. And check what? That's the price even today. A lot of our companies, even in India, is paying for the LNG cargoes that they import. So the points I'm trying to make in an animated fashion, that this is not a technology for analysis, getting paralysis by analysis. It is mixed with coal or other sources. So once that is commercialized, which is 4 years from now, 3 to 4 years from now, again, so many years, hydrogen has been around for so many years. Second thing which is important, while all of us talk about technology, let me throw you a counter proposition, and this is with respect to Make in India. The choice to sell in dollars, as we allow for oil, as we allow for gas, or as we allow for ammonia, get down the cost of money to 4%, and again we are back to what every other competing fuel is, right? So the expansion and the intervention has to be more policy driven. Technology is either doing its job or already in the process of getting us where we are. So this has to be more policy driven, mandate driven, and entrepreneur driven. And that is why I'm happy that large companies, including myself and our company, and even larger ones like Reliance and Adani's, have already seen, smelled the coffee, and they are actually now investing money into this. Now, last couple of minutes I'll take for the interest of your audience, that we as a company have taken a heuristic approach, that we will learn through our experiences and then make a modification. So this is what we did in our Bikaner plant, which is physically complete. This is what we are doing in the Oman plant, and eventually in India plant. That will. So few things. First question is, so solar versus wind is a question which keeps coming at various stages, right? So I think our view is categorical, having evaluated all places globally for wind resource and solar resource. Eventually the hydrogen will be driven by solar and not necessarily by wind. Wind will play its part, but our projection is that 80% of the green energy would be through solar route and not wind route. The reason is very simple, that at today's cost, solar is significantly cheaper. There is no way to get wind to a rate of 2 cents to a dollar, 2 cents to a unit, that I can foresee in next few years. That is why it will be solar driven. Second learning, whether you do PEM or alkaline electrolyzer, right? A lot of the only negative about alkaline electrolyzer, as was presented earlier, was whether it can react fast in an off-grid kind of a situation. Again, our categorical learning is that alkaline with certain modification in your solar configuration can be a good solution today, being very, very cost effective. There is a 2:1 or maybe higher cost gap between alkaline and PEM. So that is our second learning that we are doing. Third important element. There are two sets of companies who are approaching green hydrogen ammonia. One is your traditional oil and gas companies who are from their side, and then there are power company like our who are approaching this thing. What will be differentiator is how frugal are you in your engineering and designing the project when you integrate them. And as someone was mentioning, that in India we have been successful in driving down the cost of solar, not only because the module prices have come down, that is a major contributor, but also because the frugality of the engineering that Indians have kind of learned to do,